Hi everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne. Hi Capricorns, I'm going to be doing your February reading 2025. It is a general reading, and when I say that, really I just mean that it doesn't get down to the nitty-gritty or the more individualized aspects of your own personal chart, because I don't know what that is, and there's a lot of Capricorns in the world. However, what I can tell you is that any placement you may have, whether it be Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, Neptune, Saturn, there are 12 total, right, on our natal chart that you can look up very easily and for free at Cafe Astrology and Astrodynts. And so, and it's beautiful. You just have to plug in the information. And so the point is that I don't know all of that, but I can tell you that I still feel, certainly for myself, of watching readers for decades now, and then also being a reader, that generally there's something you can pick up from the information and the messages that come off of the tarot decks. So they're like what I call the conduit for your specific readings and the messages that come through. You may resonate right away, you might not resonate at all. So just the saying goes, just, pick up what does work for you and leave the rest behind. And so having said that, I do have a format for those that are new. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time, and I appreciate your inquiry. It's a great thing because that's how we on YouTube build our channels, is with people that are curious and like-minded, hopefully like yourselves. And then also returning viewers, you know that I love you and appreciate you, and I love, love, love seeing the growth. It's slow, it's okay. It's all that matters is that there's a continuum with that, right? And I will be here for you if you want to help in that manner. And this the best thing you can do is to like, subscribe, share it, and keep coming back. Okay, that would be fantastic. It's all free. So I do and will be giving readings that you can pay for and so on. But for now, we're going to get to just the monthlies I've been doing. I do a weekly collective. That's for all signs, inclusive, on Mondays that I incorporated. So yeah, I will let you know. I have a little format. It starts with checking your chakra, or spirit would like you to check the chakra of the month. And the chakras, of course, are the energy centers within our body and beyond, and they're so vital for our overall well-being. And depending on the placement of each one, they make us the whole that's so necessary in being the best that we can be and pursuing the things we want to do and feeling the way we want to feel. So the last reading had the solar plexus, but I'm going to shove this right under this table and just do a little bit of a shuffle. There aren't many to shuffle. And then I read the message, which I find to be very, very helpful in opening all the chakra in question, or, you can do it with each individual chakra. And yeah, I do a little blessing every morning to ask that there be any blocks or restrictions that I may feel in that particular area to be lifted, for the highest good of myself, and everybody involved, really. So for you, beautiful Capricorns, all right, this has come up a few times. It's my favorite color. This is the 8th chakra. Now, I didn't even know that existed, but that's what I love, is that in the world of metaphysics and mystical things, it's an unending learning process. And, you can delve into so many things. For example, like I mentioned, if I didn't, you definitely want to watch for all of your signs, not just your sun, which is Capricorn, but your moon, your rising, I say Venus, and even Mercury, which has to do with our communications. Totally up to you, but it's just that much more, so many more layers to understand yourself. So this is beautiful. The 8th chakra is really what is called the omnipotent, omnipresent energy. And 8 is a very magical number. It's basically the infinity number, and it's the most prosperous. And that's very suiting for you, Capricorns, because truly you're a very, well, you're a cardinal sign. And that represents the fact that you usher in a specific season. There are 4 cardinal signs. That's Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer, all of which, usher in a specific season. You usher in the season of winter. And that just speaks volumes right off the bat to me, and I'll explain why. Because winter's the hardest time to really, I find, to feel that motivation when it's dark and it's cold and I'm always having to wear my coat because it's even cold inside. It changes our perspective, and it kind of changes our moods and the way we feel. I would consider it a hibernation time in our life, which is necessary, right? All the seasons are important. You, Capricorn, are ruled by Saturn. So for you, it's just something you've just known. It's your archetype. It's just, you can get through the hardest of conditions. You are one of the most successful signs in the zodiac. You don't let rain or snow or sleet or cold or all the things I mentioned deter you from your incredible determination. As an earth sign, I find all the earth signs, yourself, Virgo, and Taurus, to be so incredibly capable of focus and just, once again, determination, patience. Patience comes to mind, something I'm always working on. And so because of that, you really, really get far in life. You're in it for the long term. You're in it for the comfort that money and materialistic things can provide for us. And so I just give you a lot of credit, and I love being around earth signs because you're that calming force. You're that grounded energy as an earth sign. You really, really understand the importance of, staying grounded and true. And you love nature. You love gardening. You love food. You love all the things that are right there that can be picked or touched or felt. The senses are a big part of that too. So to not elaborate too much longer, I'll read to you, which you've been seeing, for the 8th chakra. All that my soul has ever been and will ever become rests gently in this moment. My soul-filled power is here now. There's something so empowering about that, because I feel like I know from many years of experience that I'm generally thinking about the past or the future on a regular, and I've really, really tried to really focus on the now. And my job as a massage therapist of 24 years now, when I am performing, I don't know if that's the best word, when I am in a session, it's probably why I've been doing it this long. It's something that matters so much to me, to be having the beautiful music in the background, just loud enough, and just focusing in the moment. It feels so good, and it's so healing in so many ways. So with this, unfortunately, this is beautiful gift pack that I got that has a necklace, and I carry with it comes all the different chakra crystals, and it's related to their color and their ability to do magic. I always have crystals in my pocket. I keep them with me all the time. I charge them in new and full moons. You can put them in a little water and it recharges them. It doesn't come on for there was no crystal that comes with the 8th chakra, but it's purple, so I'm going to incorporate my amethyst, which is actually otherwise known as the one for the, I think it's the third eye. Actually, I'm incorrect. It's the crown, where we get the downloads from spirit and source, and in our dreams and so forth. So let me put the amethyst in, and I'll infuse the reading while wearing that. Amethyst, I can let you know right off the bat, though, is extremely good for psychic awareness, protection, removing toxicity. It's good for improving your gifts, as I mentioned, psychic ability and clairvoyance. Okay, so then, having said that, I do want to mention as well, and I usually do with all my readings, just some of the very important astrological things happening in real time right now. And of course, that would be the full and new moons that will occur in February, but also the planetary alignment that's super important for you Capricorns, but also for everybody. And that is that we're in that season, birthday season of Aquarius. So that's pretty amazing in the sense that it's very much as an air sign about our thoughts, innovation, moving forward, releasing boxed in old ways about going and doing things. It's Uranus is one of the two planets that are the ruling planet of Aquarius. And it just so happens today, which I'm doing this on the 30th of January, Uranus is stationing direct. So Uranus is the most unpredictable planet, the one that just electrically just kind of like charges, and it's all about technology. It can work, it doesn't work. It's just things that can be phenomenal and amazing, and then other things that are just take you off guard. For example, just before this video, I was putting my phone on the tripod, and then all of a sudden it fell, and it fell on this beautiful amethyst, and it cracked my screen a little bit. And you can't really see it, luckily. But yeah, that's a Uranus move right there, right? It's just in an instant. One moment, one thing's one way, another. Well, that's life in general. But trust me when I tell you, that can be the occurrence. But moreover, it's in the sign of Taurus, which is very, very complementary as your fellow Earth sign, Capricorn. And so you can look up and see what house that is in the tropical whole house sign astrology. And astrology, because it's important. These things are pretty accurate, I'll tell you. Not pretty, very accurate, but I'll keep it light for you as far as that goes. The full moon on the 12th of February is in Leo, and that's going to be very powerful. It is a fire sign, so Leos are definitely about, they're ruled by the sun. They're about being seen and heard, and they're, great, strong, confident, I call actors of the astrology. And in real life, I have a brother that's been acting his whole life. He's a Leo, and he's a damn good one too. But you get my point. A lot of vitality, a lot of kind of socializing, even if it's not something you normally do. I think that full moon, which is what the Leo moon will shine a light on maybe your relationships, your friendships, and maybe want you and persuade you to kind of enlarge them in some way, is what I'm thinking. That's what's coming off right off the bat. So maybe you've already started that. Maybe you haven't been out as much and you're thinking, I am really wanting to get something going. I want to get more action in my life. So that can be in many ways, but that would happen for sure, at least the beginning, because the effects can happen for a couple of weeks and longer. And then the new moon in February will be on the 27th, and that's going to be in Pisces. Let's talk about Pisces. The new series of eclipses that happen every 18 months and continually change signs, always run in pairs, so there's always going to be the polar opposition astrology signs. The North Node is the head of the dragon, as they say, and it's the direction we want to go in. Our dreams, our aspirations, being the best people we can be, and, feeling motivated and so forth. That is now in the sign of Pisces through, I believe it's July or August of 2026. And the South Node is in Virgo. We just left the North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, and there'll be one last lunar eclipse in Aries in March on about the 29th, I believe. So stay tuned for that too. But the South Node in Virgo, also being an Earth sign, is also really important. I think you'll really notice it as an Earth sign. It's about releasing. The tail is always the releasing, the letting go, the purging, cutting things out of your life, cutting habits, cutting, people, cutting material things, cutting whatever it may be. It's going to be because it's something that you've been thinking about for a long time and you really feel like it's the best thing for you. And at the end of that 18 months, you're going to be very, very happy you did so. And you're being guided in the process. So, you know, it's karmic in a lot of ways, but it's also basically exactly what's needed for your life. So that is the astrological. But I do want to say, in addition to the North Node in Pisces, the moon is in Pisces today as I'm recording this. Saturn is in Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces. Now, both of those are going to change for 2 or 3 months this year and go into Aries and then back into Pisces and then go back into Aries for 14 years for Neptune and 2.5 for Saturn. It's so many changes, Capricorn. Just know that, once again, they're all for the benefit of all of us. As a water sign, it's extremely, as I call it, synergetic. It's very compatible with you. It's not a trine. A trine is usually any planets that are in the same element, but it is a sextile. So it's a love month. Pisces is about imagination and creativity and love and selflessness and you know, no boundaries, just like giving as much as possible, you know, giving of your heart. Ridiculously romantic sign in the month of love of February. And perhaps you're with the Pisces and you know exactly what I'm speaking of. You know when you know Pisces, you know, and by the way, so the whole energy of the Northern and all these planets is going to affect us all. And it's going to affect us in different places in our life, and but overall just for the same reasons. And I'm for one, I'm extremely happy about that. So yeah, don't be surprised if you are, and you may have no interest whatsoever as I'm saying this, and you're like, I'm going to turn this channel in about 2 seconds. You may start to feel an awakening or a real prompting to just be more with your spirituality. That would be my cat in the background. It doesn't do that very often. Hasn't done that since I've been doing the uploads, the new version, the brand that you see now. But anyway, just bear that in mind. Remember I said that to you. We're going to go on with your reading now. This is the beautiful deck that I've had for some time, but I love it because I wanted to stay in the theme of red and pink. Pink being very heart-oriented, you know, also associated with the pastel colors of the upper chakras, our third eye, you know, our intuition, our gifts. Very intuitive sign, Pisces. Very much about, you know, clairvoyance and usually empathic and really sensory oriented, and yeah, water, you know, being able to go in places that people can't. We just started our the new year of Chinese New Year, if you're interested in that. I don't really speak much other than to say it's the year of the snake. And in 2025 is year numerology wise 9. So there's just, the snake is all about, you know, shedding our skin and trying new things. And there's once again that beautiful energy of Aquarius that we're in now to motivate and instigate that. Pluto, the planet that has everything to do with our deepest hidden, you know, fears and desires and power and strength and you name it, went into the sign of Aquarius for the next 20 years. So stay tuned with Uranus in the picture and technology. What's coming down the pike is we don't even know. I, for one, am excited. It's going to take some time. It's not going to happen all at once. So, but I'm going to do the Celtic cross view, and it's going to have all the different positions I'll read to you and explain as I go along so that you can kind of get a taste of this if it's one of the first times you've ever seen this. And this deck is actually called the OK deck. It's a simple deck for everyone is what it says, and it truly is. So the overall energy is the first card in the center, and that would be you, Capricorns. And you have the Queen of Pentacles, so there it is. There's your energy straight up, right off the bat. The Pentacles represents the earth energy. Pentacles are coins, is how they're used and notably spoken about. The Queen, as opposed to the King, doesn't mean female, doesn't mean a female or male. It means the energy of feminine or masculine energy, okay? We all have that. And what we always strive for in that regard is to have that balance. Sometimes I find myself being a little more masculine. And by that, I mean, it tends to lean towards the air or the fire. There's more motivation about being busy, having to do with our work and our thoughts and things of that nature. It's not, I didn't design it this way. I'm just reading to you and expressing to you how it's set up with the astrology. And then the more feminine are the water elements and the, what did we left? There's earth, there's water, and earth, yeah. So fire and air tend to be the more masculine energies. And then we always want to try to balance that out. And it really means, when I say the feminine aspect of it, it's about being more intuitive about things and kind of feeling the sensory of it, or also just like it's more internalized, it's that part of us that's just like, and listening to our own intuition and our own higher power, gut, and so forth. So, but the Queen of Pentacles couldn't be more generous and caring and compassionate, usually very well off and very, very well established in their lives. When they've reached the maturity of the queen or king. They've been dedicated to what they do. They work hard. They have usually great gardens. They toil. They love nature. They love the natural parts of life. And, they want the comforts. So they do what they can to make that happen. And they end up having exactly that. So I always like to be around earth signs who have this kind of knowledge and can share with me ways to best understand that aspect of life, finances and that sort of thing. So yeah, there you are. And you could very well be a female Capricorn watching your own beautiful energy coming through here. Or male, like I said, doesn't matter. The crossing card is going to be the blessings of blocks. And you have the devil. Now this is interesting because everyone's like, oh no, the devil. And I get it. I mean, every single tarot card has a higher energy and a lower energy, as does life, right? Where there's light, there's dark. Where there's happiness, it's sadness. The polar opposition, basically. Like the way the eclipses run. Two signs that couldn't be more different, but actually work really well together and harmonize. And besides that, a lot of times that's very attractive to people, to be with somebody that's very different from ourselves. The devil, though, is the Major Arcana and also the tarot card that represents Capricorn. So that's beautiful and fitting. So in two ways, you're showing up very boldly. And as far as the devil, it just is that constant thing that because you are a Capricorn and you are, as I mentioned earlier, Saturn ruled, and about the fears that come in sometimes and things are looking a little more lean, in the finances or whatever. And you definitely recognize when you're overdoing something, or maybe, using a vice, or you have some addiction. It could be any type of addiction. There's so many out there. And even exercise and, loving people sometimes. It's like the codependent type of thing. The list goes on and on. But you're on top of that. So I really feel like it just represents you and your full-on energy that's happening. Now, then we're going to go to the foundation card. Very important in our lives. It's when the foundation is steady and even, it's not going to topple. It's not going to, cause disruption. And it's the best way it can be. Let's see what yours has to say. And it is the Two of Pentacles. So what's interesting about that is, yes, I believe you are in good balance. It shows that in this card. And yet, it's something to always consider. It is a balancing act, isn't it? And sometimes, some parts of the year, depending on what your, occupation is, entrepreneurs like myself can fully relate to certain seasons that people tend to, hold back from maybe spending money on massages, for example, even though I have regulars for many, many years. They consider it part of their health, and it absolutely is. God love them. But even still, people go on vacations, certain times a year, and, it's just balancing and being aware and, staying on top of it, which I know without any hesitation, you are capable of doing. And I think you've already established that for yourself. So we'll move on to your recent past, and you have the Ace of Wands. Yes, I think, well, as I mentioned, this is a good month for you, absolutely. And it's going to change. It's been an interesting January. It's been a slower moving January. And there's a good reason I didn't mention, but I will right now. Because it's a wand, which represents the fire element. We've had a very long stay of Mars, the warrior planet, the planet of motion and energy and, spirit and war and aggression and all the things that get us motivated, to keep us moving, and sometimes we have to definitely balance that so we don't cause issues or get into fights we don't mean to, or have, have scenes that come up and we don't want to even be a part of. So Mars has been in retrograde since the 6th of December. Yeah, it was in retrograde in Leo, and before that it was in the sign of Cancer when it was direct, and then went into retrograde, like I said, retrograde in Leo, back into Cancer retrograde, and is going to go direct at the end of February. Hallelujah. So there it is, and you kind of starting to almost feel that, because sometimes it does happen that way. A month ahead of time or whatever, you're like, okay, it's going to be a slow movement, and then it's going to go direct, and then it'll build up momentum just like any other retrograde. So you have some really keen and beautiful ideas about what you want to do once the clouds lift, if you will, and it is the beginning of something, and it's powerful, and it's expressive, and you're excited about it, and you're going to put everything you usually do into it to see it succeed. And the world is your oyster. It also really does represent passion, and I'm talking about from the heart, and sensuality, and you can put the rest together. But maybe something just really sparked your attention recently. Because that is representing the past, but it could have just happened. And I'm excited. Let me know anything you want to share. I'm all ears. It's one of my most favorite things about, being able to have a community and a channel like this. Then we go into your present, and you have the Queen of Wands. So you've gone from the Ace of Wands to the Queen. And my gosh, that Queen of Wands, whatever she wants, she will get. And I say she because it's the feminine energy, but it is not necessarily a she. And it can definitely be a he, who's in tune with his intentions, in tune with his psychic abilities. That, once again, I think the Piscean energy is really coming through for us and helping us to balance the modalities of feminine and masculine energies. It really is. When they are balanced, everything works better. Absolutely everything. And it's an inside job a lot of times, but you could be very, very attracted to somebody who is a fire sign, which would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. So there's that to be said. And you could very well have fire placements in your chart, because like I said, there are 12 planets from the moment you're born, and they take that snapshot. And this tarot is the journey in that realm, from the time you're born to you transition to yet another life, or whatever the belief system you may have. So I love that for you, that things are definitely looking up, and there is that super energy coming forth, as I mentioned, and that will continue to unveil itself. Now we have the card that represents your future. My goodness. You have a lot of court cards and a lot of people, but what's really cool about it is this is the King of Pentacles. This is you once again, whether you're a female or a male, and you've got I love it when I get both the King and the Queen, because this represents, once again, the balance within yourself of feminine and masculine. Absolutely, we just said that. But it also means that there's an amazing partnership that can be there, that you're in, that you want. And I know any earth sign I've ever done readings for, and I've done readings for over 30 years, you're in it for the long haul. It's a beautiful, beautiful combination. You thrive off each other, you help each other, you admire, and you honor and you respect each other. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, and you see the coin. The coin is about, you really reached heights that maybe even surpass what you thought. And it's not going to stop, okay? So just believe and achieve is what I always say in a simple form. Let's move on to the stem. The first card is what I call the perspective card, really, and what you're feeling right now as a whole in your life, and kind of seeing things from I always say the peripheral vision, like from afar, and, you know, maybe from a bird's view. And you have the Eight of Cups. Well, the cups represent the emotion. That's the Pisces. Now, don't be surprised if you feel a lot of emotion in February as well. And then with, once again, Cancer going direct, Mars in Cancer. It's not particularly favorable when Mars is in Cancer. It's quite an oppositional energy. Cancer is more about feeling and compassion and all that. And Mars is like, bam, me, whoa, straighten, you know, and all that. So, but a lot gets done because, like yourself as a cardinal, Cancer is too. So 8 is about moving away towards that 9th cup. Nine of Cups represents your wishes fulfilled. So you've maybe really been thinking about emotional aspects of your life. I know it's going to happen more than often than not. There will be dreams that'll come through. You're going to have prophetic dreams. You're going to be having all these things with this Pisces energy. And then once again, of course, Cancer, which is very good for you. The water, like I said, it's a great combination. Yeah, you're ready though. It's already been thought about, felt. You're still feeling it, but you're gonna go to places that are just gonna be way more enriching, and you're already realizing that. So that's that message for that particular placement. Then we have your environment. Knight of Swords. Wow. Yet another what do I call these? The ones that are, well, mainly they represent people, places, and things versus the major arcana that are really important messages that Spirit wants you to know. And when they come up, they really want you to just consider, consider what's being mentioned for your highest good, of course. But the Knight is the fastest moving Knight when it's the Knight of Swords. The Knights are definitely messengers, and there's something coming forth. And with the direct motion now of Uranus, I'm thinking it's maybe just completely coming out of the blue. But the swords are about fairness and justice, and they're about, cutting away any kind of BS, and they're just like, they're going to be straightforward. But I think it's exciting, and I think it's very, very beneficial, and it certainly goes in line with everything else I'm seeing here from the powerful, wonderful, new, inspirational, emotional yet steady, earth-bounded kind of, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. You're in charge. You feel very, very, you're at a maturity that's showing that you know what you need to do. You've been through a lot, and now you're just feeling extremely comfortable with your decisions. So yes, definitely, or, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini in your midst, bringing you information, bringing you news. Okay. Now, the other thing I didn't say too is that Gemini, the planet of Jupiter, has been in Gemini. Jupiter is the benevolent planet, the one, outside of Venus. It's so beautiful, so magical. It just brings luck and opportunities and miracles and things. You're like, wow. And it visits each of our signs every 12 years. Like it takes that long. And it's been in Gemini, but it's been in, retrograde. Like every planet goes retrograde towards the latter part of the year for 4 or 5 months. It goes direct on the 4th, I want to say, when Venus goes also into Aries of February. So, Gemini is about mind and about, once again, commerce and working and teaching and learning and just opening our minds to all sorts of things and people and circumstances and networking. And you love that. It's success. It's getting to the next level in whatever it is you're doing with the help of other people, though. Good information, good, maybe learning things and taking a course that always comes to mind with Gemini. They're great teachers. I don't know, really beautiful, beautiful stuff. So then we have the hopes and fears category, and you have the Four of Swords. Well, this has come up a lot too. The Four of Swords is really, it's an air element, of course, once again. The four is always very much about stability. You know, the four legs on a table, right? The house and the four walls, and it's about having rest, having needed to rest, maybe having just gotten over a cold or something that, you know, a bug. I mean, they're going around. It's that time of year. And so, but you're healed. You're already healed. And knowing that even if you weren't ill, you know, like from a flu or something of that nature, it's really about being still and just taking that time. And that's a lot of that Piscean energy too. Just allowing yourself to be. You're usually so busy and basically almost, I would say, an addiction to work a lot of times, a lot of Capricorns. That's why they're always at the top. But for your own sake and for your sake of wellness and wholeness, it's really good to stop and put your swords down, your communication, just kind of allow yourself some time. Vacation time is great. Maybe you're going to plan a vacation and know if there was any surgery or anything, you're good, you're recovering, you're healing. I'm not a doctor. I just read the messages that come through and know that, yeah, there's always, always guidance. And if you want to speak and ask things, it will come through. Answers do come through if you're listening and you want to be still and things are turned off and you just put away that phone and go out into nature and that sort of thing. I love that. Don't be fearful about the messages coming through. Don't be fearful of turning anything off and just like being, you know, it's interesting. When I first really started doing it, I was like, whoa, I'm used to, got to be doing something, you know? So I like that a lot. The last is your outcome card. King of Swords. Another king. I don't think any reading for the month of February so far, I've only got 2 left, has had this many court cards. And man, you are just on top of it. And this is the swords. This is the Aquarians. This is Aquarius season. This is information. This is vital information. This is seeing things in a new way, you know, as well with Pisces as well. The perspective, the hanged man hung upside down, looking in peace and calm and trusting and just like, bring it. I'm here. You use me, you know. I trust. It's all beautiful. But definitely conversations will be had. Conversations will be had to your benefit. No getting around it. And this is the wands, the fire, the air. They're very complementary to each other. And that'll be seen quite a bit because, as I mentioned, we are in Aquarius season through the 18th of February when it becomes Pisces. But also with the Mars going direct, that's the Venus and Mars. That's air and fire. It's beautiful. I love this a lot. There's so much I could say, but I want to kind of let that just kind of sit with you. You can always come back, you know, mid-month and check it out again. I am going to read your animal spirit guide, if I may, message, because I absolutely love this deck. It's really touched me. I've had it a long time. I bring it out and then I forget about it, and I did it again. So I'm going to shuffle and just read to you what it says about your specific message for the animal spirit guidance for the month of February. All Capricorns, if you like what you've seen today and you resonate at all, please do like, share, and subscribe. It's free. It is amazingly supportive, and I really, really need that to be able to build the channel. So I thank you in advance, okay? No pressure, though. So for you, what is your beautiful animal? Ah, the pigeon. Aw, this reminds me, my grandmother, well, both of them lived in San Francisco, but one in particular. And I remember seeing them as a child, and they were just, I don't know, they seemed to be everywhere. And she lived not far from Golden Gate Park, where all the beautiful museums were and that sort of thing. Anyway, let me read to you what it says. I like what it says. I don't remember verbatim, but I think you will appreciate it too. And a lot of times it's interesting. We'll see how it correlates and how it, you know, if it's synchronistic with the reading. Well, there's pelican, so it can't be far away. Let's see here. Pigeon. I hope you're doing well too. And I hope you're starting to feel I don't know, just that love that's lifting. And I mean, there's been so many beautiful things going on with the sadness of the crises and how people are reaching out. It's so Piscean. They want to just get, they don't even know people. They're like, well, how can I help? You know, it's just that natural, I believe, instinctual thing for humans. I really do. And it's really been showing. And Pigeon says song, peace, and home. So there's definitely something about home for you. Maybe you're building a home. Maybe you're going to buy a second vacation home and travel and so forth. Get your time to have downtime. Pigeon knows how to come home. Drawing pigeon indicates a time to deepen your peace with where you've come from. This can be done in your heart. Even if your mind cannot align. And I love that because as an air sign myself, I'm in my mind a lot, but I actually out loud, I say, please go down to my heart. Please let me live from my heart. And I can feel the change in my energy instantly. Pigeon is dove in gray city clothes. And like dove, brings peace, gentleness, and understanding with soothing songs and cuckoos. Pigeon is present and peaceful both in the beauty of Earth's nature and in human cities. So they can acclimate, yes? Even in a crowded train station or huddled under an awning outside of a deli to get out of the rain, it is possible to be a being of song, peace, and friendship. We can all fit in, we can all accept that's coming in time. I truly believe that, and I will continue to believe that. I hope that resonates with you in some way. It seems individual in a way, but I love it nonetheless, because it did represent the heart again and the peace, which I mentioned as being hugely a part of the influence of the Piscean stellium of planets, which means there's just a ton of planets in Pisces right now. And the North Node, like I said, for 18 months. Let me finish with a motivation manifesto message, if I may, and send you on your way. I'll repeat that. And I just do a little shuffle here. And I hope you have a beautiful, Valentine's Day for those that celebrate. It's a fun, it could be a fun holiday, right? And I only want it to be that for everybody. And I'm my own Valentine, so I'm fully loving myself and feeling extremely blessed and prosperous and loved. So for you, it's short but sweet. We are to be radiant, grateful, buoyant people. That's it. You can take a snapshot. I mean, that says it all. And it's so true. And I'm sorry if there's a little glare. Yeah. Words to live by, right? Have a beautiful February. Thank you for stopping in so much. Your time is valuable, and I appreciate you for it. I hope you'll come back in March. And also, I do a weekly collective, I mentioned earlier, on Mondays that I'd love to have grow and have the community there. Okay, so take care. Love you. Bye for now.